Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In the next 15 minutes, we will understand the poem Autumn and its figures of speech. Autumn is a season. It occurs after summer and before winter. In Western countries like America, Canada, the leaves of the trees start falling. So, this season is also called fall there. The poem Autumn was originally written in Sanskrit by the great Sanskrit poet Kalidas. It was later translated into English by Professor A. W. Ryder. In the poem, the poet compares the autumn season to a fair maiden. Beautiful things happen in nature during daytime and nighttime in autumn. The poet describes these beautiful things in his poem. But how? As part of the maiden's beauty. समर सीजन के बाद और विंटर सीजन के पहले आता है ऑटम सीजन. इसे हिंदी में पतझड़ कहते हैं क्योंकि इस मौसम में पेड़ों के पत्ते झड़ते हैं. इस पोएम को महाकवि कालिदास ने लिखा है और प्रोफेसर ए डब्ल्यू राइडर ने इस पोएम को इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट किया है. So friends, let's begin with the poem. The autumn comes, a maiden fair, in slenderness and grace, with nodding rice stems in her hair and lilies in her face. Maiden, a young unmarried woman. Slenderness, slim. Grace means beauty. Nodding means swaying. Another meaning, moving to and fro. The poet compares autumn to a young unmarried woman who is slim and beautiful. During autumn, the rice crop is standing tall, ready for harvest, swaying to and fro in the wind. The poet describes this in the poem by saying that the young girl is wearing rice stems in her hair. पोइट ऑटम सीजन को एक जवान लड़की से कंपेयर करते हैं जो स्लेंडर यानी दुबली है, ग्रेस यानी खूबसूरत है. ऑटम में राइस स्टेम यानी चावल के तने हवा के झोंके से डुलते हैं. तो पोएट कहते हैं कि उस जवान लड़की ने चावल के तने यानी राइस स्टेम्स से अपने बालों को सजाया है. Lilies, marigold, all these flowers blossom in autumn. The poet says that lilies grow in the young girl's face. Autumn में lilies फूल खिलते हैं. तो पोएट कहते हैं कि उस लड़की के चेहरे पर lilies खिल रहे हैं. See the figure of speech in the first line. The autumn comes, a maiden fair. यहां पर पोएट ऑटम सीजन को एक फेयर मेडन से इनडायरेक्टली कंपेयर करते हैं. सो व्हाट इज द फिगर ऑफ स्पीच? द फिगर ऑफ स्पीच इज मेटाफर. इन फ्लावर्स ऑफ ग्रासेस शी इज क्लैड. क्लैड मीन्स कवर्ड. Grass grows everywhere. The poet mentions this by saying that the young maiden is covered with flowers of grasses. हर तरफ घास रहता है. तो पोएट इस बात को पोएम में डिस्क्राइब करते हुए कहते हैं कि वो लड़की घास से लिपटी हुई है. नाउ लेट्स सी द फिगर ऑफ स्पीच. इन फ्लावर्स ऑफ ग्रासेस शी इज क्लैड. Have you noticed? The words are not in correct prose order. So, the figure of speech is inversion. So, what is the correct prose order? The correct prose order is she is clad in flowers of grasses. And as she moves along, it means as the season of autumn progresses. और वो लड़की आगे बढ़ती है, यानी जैसे समय बीतता है, पतझड़ यानी ऑटम सीजन आगे बढ़ता है. Birds greet her with their cooing glad, like a bracelet's tinkling song. Cooing, sound made by birds. Bracelet means wristlet. It's a golden ornament which is worn around wrist. During autumn, birds enjoy the cool season. They also get more grains to eat. So they are glad, happy, and they start cooing, that is, making sounds. The poet directly compares this cooing of birds to the tinkling song of bracelets. The poet has used the word like. So, friends, the figure of speech is simile. The cooing of the birds is directly compared to the tinkling song of the bracelet. There is another figure of speech over here, and the figure of speech is onomatopoeia. Why? Because the word cooing and yes, the word tinkling also, both these words express sound. So, friends, in the first stanza, the poet has described all the activities that take place during daytime in autumn. In the second stanza, the poet describes all the activities that take place during nighttime in autumn. So now let's begin with the second stanza. A diadem adores the night of multitudinous stars. Diadem, jeweled crown. Adorns means decorates. Multitudinous means countless. During autumn nights, the sky is covered with countless stars. The poet says that this sky of countless twinkling stars is the jeweled crown of the young maiden. ऑटम सीजन में रात को आसमान में अनगिनत तारे होते हैं. पोएट कहते हैं कि ये तो हीरों का ताज है और इस जवान लड़की के सर पर है. फ्रेंड्स, see the figure of speech over here. A diadem adorns the night of multitudinous stars. Have you noticed? The sky full of multitudinous stars is indirectly compared to a diadem. Yes, the figure of speech is metaphor. There is one more figure of speech over here, and that is inversion. The figure of speech is inversion. Why? Because words are not in correct prose order. The correct prose order is a diadem of multitudinous stars adorns the night. Her silken robe is white moonlight set free from cloudy bars. Robe, loose dress. White here means silver. Set free from means without. Bars means patches. The sky is filled with moonlight and the sky is clear without any patches of clouds. The poet says that this clear sky without patches of clouds and filled with moonlight is nothing but what? The silken robe of the young maiden. आसमान में कहीं भी बादल नहीं होते हैं. पूरा आसमान चांदनी से लपेटा हुआ है. पोएट कहते हैं कि यह चांदनी उस जवान लड़की का वस्त्र है, बिना पैचेस के यानी बिना बादल के. Here, see, her silken robe is white moonlight. The sky full of white moonlight is indirectly compared to the silken robe of the maiden. Here, the figure of speech is metaphor. क्यों? क्योंकि the sky full of white moonlight is indirectly compared to the maiden's silken robe. And on her face, the radiant moon, bewitching smiles are shown. Radiant, shining, bewitching, attractive. The moon is shining brightly in the sky at night. The poet says that the young maiden is smiling and the smile is attractive. आसमान में चांद चमकता है. पोएट कहते हैं कि ये तो उस जवान लड़की की स्माइल है, अट्रैक्टिव स्माइल है. फ्रेंड्स, here again the figure of speech is inversion. क्यों? क्योंकि वर्ड्स जो हैं वो करेक्ट प्रोज ऑर्डर में नहीं है. करेक्ट प्रोज ऑर्डर क्या है? And bewitching smiles are shown on her face. So the figure of speech is inversion. She seems a slender maid who soon will be a woman grown. Slender, slim. Will be a woman grown means will become a matured woman. In the beginning of the poem, the poet compares autumn to a young maiden. Why? Because that was the beginning of the autumn season. The days, weeks passed. That is, time passed. The season progressed. Now, the autumn season has properly set itself. So, the poet compares it to fully matured women. So, just as a young girl matures into a fully grown woman after some years, similarly, the poet says that autumn season has also progressed after some weeks. पोएम के बिगिनिंग में ऑटम सीजन को एक जवान लड़की से कंपेयर करते हैं पोएट. लेकिन पोएम के एंड में वो कहते हैं कि ये स्लेंडर यानी स्लिम दुबली जवान लड़की अब एक मैच्योर्ड औरत बन जाएगी. यानी ऑटम सीजन पूरी तरह से सब पर छा जाएगा. तो फ्रेंड्स, दिस वॉज द एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ द पोएम ऑटम. फ्रेंड्स, मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आई होगी. आपको वीडियो से कुछ सीखने मिला होगा तो जरूर लाइक कीजिए, दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करके बेल आइकन जरूर दबाइए. आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. जय हिंद.